This is the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're inside Jamaica Magazine.
Encouraging the information flow, sharing the news and views you need to know.
We are building an informed Jamaica every day.
Listening to what you say.
Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am your host, Alison Watson. Coming up in today's news package, Jamaica to appeal coated rejection on cement import application. Small-scale beef farmers to benefit from $13 million project. And Prime Minister says funding for delayed Falmouth Police Station to be considered in next budget. Later, Armistice Day and the work of the Bureau of Standards. Stay with us, the news in detail after this short break.
Roxanne, how you look so?
What you expect? You know, I'm pregnant.
Well, the pregnancy not treat you right.
It's not really the pregnancy, you know. But from last night, I have a fever, my throat sore, I just feel awful.
Well, that don't sound right, Roxanne. It sounds to me like you need to go see a doctor immediately, especially with the H1N1 we're going.
When I just want regular flu, that's not nothing.
Regular flu? The flu, you know nothing for joke with, you know. Especially for you who are falling in the high-risk category.
High-risk category? What that?
Well, the ministry has stressed that pregnant women, persons with chronic illnesses such as asthma, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and even children under 5 years should go to the doctor as soon as them start feel flu.
Why?
Because these persons are more at risk for serious illnesses or even death from the flu.
Death? I'm going to put on my clothes and go to the doctor right now.
You better do that.
For more information about influenza AH1N1, call toll-free 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683 or contact your parish health department. A message from the Ministry of Health, the Jamaica Information Service, the Voice of Jamaica, and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Now the news. Jamaica is preparing to appeal the rejection of its application to the CARICOM Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, for a suspension of the Common External Tariff CET on cement. The country was seeking to import 120,000 tons of cement from outside the region. In a media briefing yesterday, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Carl Samuda, disclosed that the application was denied after failing to gain sufficient support from COTED member countries. The Secretariat had invited responses to Jamaica's request from member countries, but only 3 of the 14 replied. Trinidad, through Trinidad Cement Limited, TCL, indicated they could supply Jamaica's needs. Ghana supported the suspension, while Suriname declined. Minister Samuda says government will be asking the Attorney General to bring to the attention of the Secretariat the provision which requires a much larger number of responses to affirm or deny the request.
The revised Treaty of Chaguaramas indicates that in order to overturn a decision of the COTED, it requires that there be a majority from among a minimum of 3/4 of the membership, which is 14, which in essence translates into a minimum vote, a minimum of 7.
The 120,000 tons of cement represents 15% of the country's demand. Minister Samuda says the island needs the waiver to ensure that it has stockpiled supplies to prevent a reoccurrence of the cement shortage that Jamaica experienced 2 years ago. He says government is concerned about the local cement company's ability to provide adequate storage of inventory to prevent this.
Because it is one thing to say you can produce monthly, It's another thing to have the capacity to store enough inventory so that in the event of a breakdown or any other problems that you might have, that we would have adequate storage, and we view it as being necessary to have at least 6 weeks storage in order to be assured that we would have enough time within which to have supplies arrive in Jamaica.
He says Jamaica will be placing its concern about the treaty provisions on the agenda of the next quoted meeting and, if necessary, take it to the next heads of government meeting. Some 200 small-scale farmers are to benefit from a $13 million project to increase their productivity and commercial viability. The farmers hail from the parishes of St. Mary, Portland and St. Thomas. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Dr. Christopher Tufton and country representative for the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, Gerard Johnson, signed the contract for the grant assistance yesterday. In his remarks, the minister expressed his appreciation to the IDB while noting that this represents another in a long and very productive relationship between the government and the bank.
And we want to say that we appreciate every chance we get. I believe we should say that. The working relationship that we have had over many years, and certainly a relationship that is getting stronger, as is being symbolized here with this particular support to the beef and dairy sector.
The IDB country representative says the money represents a grant from the Multilateral Investment Fund, the MIF, and is indicative of the fund's commitment to encouraging innovative projects.
What's interesting about this initiative is that it's real. This is not based on government handouts or protection. This is based on business fundamentals that make sense. This project is self-sustaining financially. The cost recovery will cover the operating costs. It's about the rebirth, the resurgence, not the rebirth, but the resurgence of an industry that makes sense.
The estimated value of beef imports and dairy products in 2008 was US $106.4 million. At the current foreign exchange rate, this represents an outflow of $9.54 billion. Government is to give consideration to funding the construction of the new Falmouth Police Station in the 2010-2011 budget. Construction of the station, which is meant to replace the dilapidated building now occupied by officers in the town, has suffered several delays since the contract was initially signed in January of 2005. Yesterday, Prime Minister Bruce Golding told Parliament that government has terminated the $219.4 million contract to Astrom Building Systems Limited. Mr. Golding's update to the House of Representatives was in response to questions from opposition Member of Parliament Dr. Patrick Harris. The Prime Minister says Astrom, which was responsible for the designing and construction of the police station, submitted their plans to the Trelawney Parish Council 2 months later than scheduled. In examining the plan, the Parish Council found that the proposal for on-site sewage disposal was unacceptable. Plans for a major drainage system was also lacking, and changes were needed to comply with stipulations by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. The Council later approved the contract, outlining the necessary changes to be undertaken.
Construction work, which had slowed progressively, was formally suspended on the 1st of June 2007. The contractors gave as their reasons their inability to secure payments for work done and certified. The Ministry of National Security refuted this contention, arguing that arrangements to finance the project had been made through UGI Finance and Investments Limited in the amount of $250 million.
The Prime Minister says funding for the project was eventually lost, as the contractors were tardy in securing approvals due to faulty designs. Minister of Labour and Social Security, Parnell Charles, says the government is committed to creating a safety net that will give the youth protection from poverty. He points to the Steps to Work project as the latest move to achieve this goal. Steps to Work is an initiative of the Labour Ministry in collaboration with the World Bank and other stakeholders. Minister Charles says the project is timely as it will reduce the poverty level among the target group. Already $2.14 million has been spent to pilot the initiative in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, Clarendon, Manchester, St. James and Trelawney.
We will be planning to go to the rest of Jamaica. It is a dimension of program for advancement in health and education.